Hello, hi everyone. It's a God blessing again. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I bring to you a new movie. But before that, how are you doing? How was your week? How have you been? How is the new month going? Okay. So today, I brought us a new movie titled "Behind Her Smile." It's on ikogbonnatv. Do well to watch it for yourself if you want. Remember, in this channel, we narrate movies that we have lessons to learn from. We share the lessons that we learned here, and encourage you to also watch it. Okay. Feel free to drop your comments, any movie that you want me to do in the comment section, and I will do that. Okay, thank you very much. Welcome back. If it's your first time seeing my face, my name is Blessing, and this is Lessons with Blessing. To my returning subscribers, I love you. Thank you very much for always coming back to this channel. I really appreciate. So today's story is Behind Her Smile. This movie is an interesting Nollywood movie, very emotional, that talks about a little child called Ada. Ada's dad, who is a vibrant young man, was given the death sentence. Not in the sense of law, but health. So his doctor told him he had a heart condition that has gone past management stage, and there was nothing else they could do about it. So he was given a life expectancy term of 6 months to live. This is heartbreaking because this young man, like I said, already lost his wife during childbirth. So Ada, the young girl, didn't even know who her mom is. And Ada is about 9 years-ish, 8 to 9 years old. That's her age. So the dad was heartbroken to know that he would also be leaving this beautiful daughter of his at an early stage. So he didn't know what to do. He decided to spend as much time as he could with the girl within that 6 months. But he wasn't going to tell her that he was going. So he took her to the village and told his aunt. They cried over it, but Ada didn't know what was happening. During the short visit to the village, he met a young lady whom the auntie spoke highly of. This young lady seemed nice and really nice to his aunt. So the aunt spoke highly of her and talked about how things weren't going well for her. So at some point, Ada got so acquainted with the auntie, because this auntie always narrated stories to children in the community. So Ada always visited her house in the evenings for those moonlight tales. So when they traveled back to Lagos, Ada kept asking her dad to invite the lady over, and eventually the dad gave in. Spoke to his aunt about it, and his aunt was in support of it because why not? The girl is good, she's nice, yeah. So she spoke to the girl. She didn't have anything reasonable doing. She used to process gari, cassava into gari in the village, and it wasn't like it was a big business that was really thriving hard. So I mean, going to the city to stay with Ada and her dad seemed like a good option. So she was told about it, and she came over to stay with Ada and the dad. She wasn't told anything about the man's health condition. Ada herself didn't know. We just brought her over to stay with them, and she came. She was still good to the little girl, looking after the girl And one day the girl told her that she thinks her dad loves. So sorry about the hint, but I don't know how do people do it? You know, when you have a toddler in the house and you're trying to do a video, how do you guys do it? Oh God. So back to my story. Going back again, goodness me. So Chidima moved in with them and was looking after Ada. In return, Ada's dad, by the way, his name is Ekene, was also, providing her needs. She had a roof over her head, feeding, and then he gave her money for upkeep while she looked after Ada. So one day they had the conversation. He wanted to know what she wanted to do for herself, and she told him her story and how she wanted to own a boutique. So voila, Ekene opened a boutique for Ada. That was like a dream come true for this lady. Not Ada, sorry, but Chidima. So Chidima is the lady they met at the village, the nice lady they met at the village, whom they now invited to look after Ada. So opening the boutique for her was like a dream come true for her. She was so grateful. And when a young man is doing all this for you and felt it was you were worthy of looking after his child, sometimes he gives you the wrong signal, right? Coupled with the fact that the little girl told Dima that her dad likes her, but it is shy to tell her, which you're not supposed to, take a word of a little girl. But because, Dima was already having that interest in the man, and wondering why he was doing all he was doing for her, she bought into the idea, and then she tried seducing the man, and and the man literally shunned her. She felt bad and disappointed in herself, and then she wanted to leave because she was ashamed. She wanted to leave, but Ekene begged her not to leave. That was when Ekene now told her the situation at hand. Told her he was dying and just needed her to stay with them, get very close to Ada and look after Ada when he's gone. It was a very emotional period. They both cried. Not necessarily both of them. Ekene has already cried his own bit of a share of crying, but Chidima, who was hearing the news for the first time, cried because the man was good. He was good and he was still young. So Dima promised him to look after Ada. Fast forward to when Ekene decided to adjust his will, to write a will. He invited a lawyer, and then the lawyer was talking about trying to get a trust fund for his daughter so that they can make sure her life is secure, she won't lack anything. But then Ekene said no, that he would prefer Chidima to handle the properties. He would prefer to hand over the properties to Chidima to hold on to while Ada grows until Ada is 18, then she'll hand it over to him. And at that moment, I'm like, what is this guy about to do? I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a good decision? For a girl you barely know. Even for someone that you know very well. Like even for someone that you know very well, I feel a trust fund is still a very good idea. Provided the person is not the child's biological parents. I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, it got me thinking. I don't know, you guys, just think about it. Would you do the same thing as a kene? Write a will and hand over the property to the girl you barely know, hoping that she will hand it over to your daughter when your daughter is 18. Anyway, I didn't think that was a good idea. But let's see if things will change. So the lawyer too, like me, didn't support the motion. He was like, Ekene, are you sure you know what you're saying? What are you saying? You barely know this girl. You just said you just met her. On what grounds? We're like, she's very nice. She look after my daughter like she's hers. And my daughter looks at her like a mother. This. So many things were going to my mind when I was watching this scene. Because to be fair, I'm like, what if she gets married? Even what if, let's say she's good, yeah, and she's really going to be willing to hand over the property to the girl. What if she gets married to someone that is all controlling, someone that won't let her do that? What if? So many things were going through my mind. But anyway, enough of what I was thinking. Let's go straight back into the movie. So the lawyer tried talking Ekene out of it, but he insisted in handing over everything to Chidinma to hold on to father. So anyway, what would the lawyer do? Client is right, so he, went according to what Ekene wanted. Fast forward to the day Ekene finally died. I don't even think he lived up to the 6 months that he was given. But he eventually died. Chidinma cried. She mourned him before the burial. After the burial, as agreed, she was to stay with Ada. Remember, Ekene had an aunt. You'll be thinking, why didn't he even will those things to the aunt, say look after my child, and not Chidinma? Because he never got into any emotional relationship with Chidinma. Not at all. He never got into that kind of thing. No tango, no entanglement, But the aunt is a blind woman. So I think that was why. So the aunt went back to the village and everybody left, leaving Chidinma and Ada. So Chidinma was looking after Ada like she has always been, until her friend asked her how far that money now that they say she keep for that girl. What's your plan? And she was like, I'll keep it for her now. And she goes, like, you're not going to live your life. You're a young girl, this one, that one, this one, this one, this one. And she's like, no, now, the father already did a lot for me. Open a boutique for me. I'm not broke. He settled me. And she's like, boutique. How much boutique won't give you? Those kind of talk. Say, better use your sense. So, better use your sense. Use the money small. Nobody needs to know. They're giving her small reason. And the Chidinma told her friend that no, she's not going to do such a thing. But before you know it, Auntie Chidinma started thinking, better use your sense, so. Better use your sense, so. Better use your sense, so. How can you just hold on to that kind of money and property until that small girl is 18? Just use small. But do you know the annoying part of the thing? She did not just use small. Chidinma didn't use small money. I don't know if she used big. I don't know how much she used. But she started maltreating Ada. And for me, that was the height of it. I mean, this is a little girl that you have access, you're literally in total control of her wealth. If you wanted to use it without giving to her, you could have as well used it with her. You know, you're living in her house, yeah? What happened to using it with her? What happened to spending the money on her and yourself so that if they ask, you say it's both of you that earns the money? Since you want to use small money, according to your friend's advice, right? What happened to looking after the girl first of all before thinking about yourself? Because you even have a boutique. But she started maltreating this girl. She started bringing men to the house. And you would ask yourself, even the girl had to ask, like, is this a different version of Auntie Chidema? Because this is not the Chidema I knew before my father passed. Do you know she stopped this girl from going to school? She didn't pay her school fees. This was barely 2 weeks after the father died. So it's not that I've reached 1 month or two, or say you mourn the man for 6 months. Why is she mourning the man? The man is not her husband. Barely 2 weeks after this man's burial, the girl stopped school because Chidema refused to pay her school fees. And she didn't stop at that. She sent her to go and work in her friend's buka. As if the both of them planned it, to maltreat this girl. Her friend was maltreating the girl. You can imagine a 9-year-old girl working in a buka where she closes work by 10 p.m. before she gets to her house, because obviously she's not transport fare, she has to trek. Before she gets to the house, before they finish everything she was doing the buka and gets to the house, it's almost midnight. A 9-year-old girl. That's the height of wickedness. That was what Chidema and her friend were doing to this girl. If they get, and she wasn't even feeding her well. Yeah, she wasn't feeding her well. And when she comes home late like that, she was not allowed to enter the compound, top one of the house. It was really emotional. Very emotional movie. So one night, the girl finished from her workplace as usual and was heading home, and she almost got kidnapped. Only God knows what those guys would have done to her, but somehow she escaped. She hit them. I think she beat them and then ran away. Got home. Obviously, the gate has been locked. No one to let her in. So I don't know how they just cut the movie there. I don't know how she found herself with one malam guy. One malam, the guy called a lady to come take her and look after her. The lady came and said she was her auntie, but I don't think they actually had any blood relationship. They didn't really have any blood relationship, but she was willing to go with this woman that at least was showing her care. So she went to the woman. So the woman was looking after her. Then she ran into her daddy's twin brother. So apparently her dad was an identical twin, but her dad never knew because her dad never mentioned much about the twin brother. Like, she knew the dad had a twin brother, but she never knew whether he was alive or dead. She's never seen him before or heard any other thing about him. So while she was in that woman's house, a certain man walked into the woman's house to visit, and the man was typically her dad, and she went, "Daddy," but that wasn't her dad. The man on his own end knew he had a twin brother, so that daddy made him go home to think, could this be my brother's child? And made some calls and found out that girl was the brother's child. That was how they started plotting how to get back at Chidima for maltreating this girl, for for doing everything she did to the girl. So they made a plan and sent her back to the house. And to think, a little girl that you've been looking for, because anyway, she left the house now, so she didn't see how this wife has been with that woman. I think that was like 3, 4, 5 days. Meanwhile, she's been lying to the blind auntie in the village that the girl has been going to school, has been doing this and that. That has been living well, because the woman started hearing rumors and she debunked everything. The woman trusted her. So when the girl came back, what Chidema did was to scold her and ask her where she's coming from. She told her she was kidnapped. She was like, why didn't they call me for ransom? She was like, because I didn't have your number to give to them, and they got tired of me and decided to let me go. She was not even sorry. She didn't even pity this girl. She sent her straight into the kitchen to go and do her dishes. Like, just showed you that she had that bad side of her, that she was hiding under calmness or whatever it was she was displaying earlier. So the girl went back to that house to continue her, obviously, what's the word for it now? Slavery lifestyle. But now there's a plan. Everybody knew the kind of treatment Chidinma was giving her. So the next day, Auntie Dorcas showed up unannounced. That's a blind woman. And Chidinma was like, hey, what are you going to do now? Auntie Dorcas, you didn't call us. You didn't tell us you're coming down. And Dorcas was like, I tried to surprise you, but I can see you don't like surprise you. She's like, where's my daughter? That's as far as Ada. She now said, I'm Ada. Next thing she says, oh, she went to school. And then Ada ran out from the kitchen to welcome her aunt, her big aunt. And then she was like, I thought you said she went to school. She said, oh, sorry, I thought she went to school. I forgot this one. And, that clearly tells you neglect. She didn't even know where the child was. That's pure neglect there and then. She's like, okay. That's how the rest of the team, that's Ekene, that's Ada's dad, Ekene's twin brother, the lady that was looking after Ada at that time, and the police came in and got Chidinma arrested. Charged her with assault, child abuse, neglect, and the rest. And the movie came to an end, but it didn't come to an end without them arresting her friend as well, because her friend was abusing the girl as well in her buka. And this movie, it was very emotional. I was angry at a point. It was very emotional. I'm like, why do people? Why will someone just be this wicked? Like, I mean, I've seen a movie where a lady looked after 2 girls. Now they were her stepdaughters. She looked after them till they grew up, and her own payback was eating their money, like spending the children's money recklessly, because for her, she used her own youth to look after children that were not biologically hers. To me, I feel like that one now is a better sense, is a better person than this children, because tell me why you're spending somebody's money and you're punishing the person. Tell me why you're spending somebody's money and the person is not even feeding well under your roof, under her own roof, which you claim to be your roof. I didn't see the need for any of the things Chidinma did to that little girl. That's sheer wickedness, and it's a lesson to parents. I mean, the world, I don't know where the world has gone now, but I don't think it's a good time to trust your child, just trusting someone that you just because she smiles at you and tells your child bedtime stories, and then you think it's wise to entrust that person with your wealth, which you're supposed to use to look after your child. I don't think it's a good decision. I don't think it's a good decision. Um, not at all. I don't think. I mean, I said to my husband that when I was watching the movie, I'm like, if I were to be the man, you know, even if it was my own sibling, I would give you a lot of money to look after yourself and my child, but then I will still do the trust fund because he had a lot of money. He was very rich. He was well to do. He wasn't on the average. He wasn't someone that didn't have that had just one property. He had enough to look after that child till she's grown. Yeah. Provide money for now, but still save out, keep something for later for the child. Don't just give everything. Because the person might be good. Why I said if it was my sibling, why I will still do this? Because the person might be good, yeah? But something can happen. What if you give everything to that person and something happens to the person? The person gets robbed of the certificate. Or the person, anything can just happen. I don't know. I lack what? Anything can happen. So I don't think it's a good option. I don't think it's a good option. And to people that are being trusted, if someone trusts you enough to give you something like this, please, please try to live up to it. The person saw something that made him or her trust you. It's not every time we'll be falling somebody's hand now. Not every time. You know? Not every time that you allow grief to set in. Right, before I get too emotional, that's the end of the story. If you enjoyed the story, give a thumbs up to this video and share my video to other people so they can watch. If you have other lessons that you learned if you've watched the movie, please feel free to drop it in the comment section. Kudos to ikogbonna and the team. The movie was very emotional and interesting. And please like my video, share, and subscribe. Okay? I love you all. Thank you very much. Bye. See you in my next. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. Thank you.